everyone, and welcome. I'd like to open up this time. We have Carl Goodman, who is the Executive Director of MOMI, to welcome us with a few words. So please welcome Carl Goodman.
I really wanted to come and say hello as a struggling former tech geek who accidentally became a museum director. This is an event that's extremely close to our hearts, and I hope that if you don't have a chance or if you haven't been to the museum before, please consider coming back. Tales in the Holoverse is up now. You can apply to tell your story about your experience in the last 2 years. You're volumetrically rendered in partnership with the company Scatter, and then people can experience your story in a kind of interactive, navigable digital theater. But I was also telling someone here about another object, or an object in our collection, the 1927 Alexander Graham Bell experimental picture phone, which used a gigantic selenium cell rotating the size of a propeller to create an image this big with a telephone next to it, and it was used in a transatlantic telephone call in a World's Fair. So this is created by a company called AT&T. And so this is all part of a continuum. Old tech was high tech. The metaverse is currently all the rage, but it'll give way hopefully to other forms of experience and entertainment, and what you're doing is on a continuum as well. And in a way, the art is not just the experience or the function created by the software you're making, but the art is also the code itself. So I'll leave that hanging. I hope you'll come back, and thank you again for choosing the museum to do what you do.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Caroline O. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Pursuit. Thank you all for coming to our Pursuit Demo Day. Nearly a year ago, this group of individuals joined our Pursuit community with little to no coding experience. But they had a few things that were fundamental to success, which are grit, passion, determination. It's truly incredible to see how far they've come. In less than a year, today, they present the apps that they have built, which is really an amazing milestone in their journey to becoming software developers. Let's give them a big round of applause for all the hard work they've done. Before we get started, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about Pursuit. Our mission is simple: to create economic opportunity. And we do this by identifying and enabling people with high need and high potential to become professional software developers. We help people achieve their dreams and create long-term, measurable economic transformation. And this transformation is life-changing. When they come into our program, our fellows make an average annual salary of $18,000, and when they leave, they make an average annual salary of $85,000. We can applaud for that. Pursuit fellows get hired to write code at some of the leading companies in the world. Our fellows work at more than 200 different companies, including Pinterest, Spotify, LinkedIn, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Uber. We believe that everyone, regardless of background, should have the opportunity to succeed, and we are so proud that our cohort reflects the diversity in our great city. Pursuit cohorts are 50% women and non-binary, 70% Black or Hispanic, and 40% immigrant. 60% do not have bachelor's degrees. And our commitment is more important now than ever. The tech industry has created more wealth, jobs, and companies than ever before, but not everyone is sharing in these opportunities. If you never graduate from college in New York City, your average lifetime income is $27,000 a year, or at the federal poverty line. And we believe there's talent from all backgrounds. That's why we work to identify the most talented individuals and create pathways for them to achieve their full potential. But our work doesn't stop there. To create transformation for more people, we need a way to scale change. That's why we've created an innovative financing model called the Pursuit Bond. And there's not enough philanthropic funding to serve those in need, even in New York City. So through Pursuit Bond, we receive impact investments to finance and scale our programs. Fellows receive training with no upfront costs, no loans, or no debt. Once our fellows graduate and get well-paid tech jobs, they pay a percentage of their earnings to Pursuit. And Pursuit, in turn, pays back the bond. If our fellows don't get jobs, they pay nothing. And this means that we at Pursuit have skin in the game. We are financially accountable for our results. The bond only works if we are effective in doing our jobs, and it only works if our fellows make a permanent, long-term change in their careers. I'm proud to share that Pursuit successfully completed Pursuit Bond 1.0 and repaid the initial impact investment in full. Because we were able to produce outcomes for our fellows, we recently raised $10 million for Pursuit Bond 2.0. Our goal with this new funding is to increase our impact and train 1,000 new fellows over the next 3 years. And this means that we'll be able to create $1 billion in earnings for our fellows. Our work doesn't stop with training. We work directly with our hiring partners to create job opportunities. Our goal is to ensure that fellows not only get hired, but thrive on the job and have clear pathways to go from entry-level software developers to leaders at their companies. We partner with leading companies to create job opportunities specifically and exclusively for our fellows and set them on a long-term career path. You can see here some of the great companies who have partnered with us recently, including a new model we piloted with Union Square Ventures this past year to work directly with VCs and their portfolio companies. Through these Pursuit partnerships, commit partnerships, the average salary level for our fellows is growing to $100,000. Now, I want to take a moment to thank all of the fantastic supporters that have made this possible. We are so fortunate to work with the best organizations across business, philanthropy, and technology who believe in our mission and our developers. Many of them are serving on our panel with us or in the audience today. So thank you so much for your continued support. So, as a part of tonight's event, we've asked an esteemed group of leaders in tech to join us and share their real-world industry experience. Our panelists will ask our fellows questions following their demos and provide valuable feedback and insight on their projects. Let's meet tonight's panelists. We've got Jumi Barnes. Jumi Barnes is the Global Head of Investment Banking Division Digital Platform Engineering at Goldman Sachs and is responsible for delivering the foundational components for the investment banking division's digital strategy. Previously, she led several digital transformation initiatives within the global markets division, overseeing the development of new applications and delivering operational efficiencies through workflow simplification, digitization, and automation. She joined Goldman Sachs in 2007 as an analyst in the technology division in London and relocated to New York in 2010. Khalid Al-Khatib is the Chief Marketing Officer at Stack Overflow, the world's largest developer community, where he is responsible for its marketing, communications, and advertising initiatives. Throughout his career, he's elevated and transformed the awareness and perception of global brands, holding leadership positions at GLG and Group SJR, a WPP agency, where he oversaw a diverse portfolio that included General Electric, Goldman Sachs, TED, and Xerox. He began his career working in communications at Teach for America, which fostered a passion for social impact, and he continues to volunteer in New York City schools and fundraises for numerous refugee relief organizations today. Thank you. Chris Mattern is a co-founder and CEO of Floor, which is a portal into the world of NFTs on a mission to make NFTs understandable and accessible, because we definitely need that. Floor is the first token-gated mobile app pioneering NFT community-driven product development. Chris is also a co-founder of Links DAO, which tokenizes sports and leisure membership, and serves on the board of the leading crypto research outlet, The Block. Chris found his way into fintech, leading mobile at social payments platform Venmo, before co-founding Button, the leading mobile commerce platform used by Uber, Hotels.com, Walmart, and more, where he served as chief product officer. Prior to Button, Chris founded and built a half a dozen companies at the intersection of culture, money, and personalization, with most having been successfully acquired. James McGinnis is CEO and co-founder of David Energy, which is a new kind of power company. Backed by top venture capital firms and founded in 2019, the company recently closed a $20 million Series A, co-led by Union Square Ventures and Keyframe. James is an expert in DER, which is Distributed Energy Resources Technologies, and is a founder of the DER Task Force, the community for distributed energy enthusiasts. While studying engineering at the University of Texas, Austin, he researched all aspects of energy markets and next-generation grid infrastructure design. And in lieu of pursuing his PhD in battery storage science, he helped found David Energy. Last but certainly not least, Hans Sayadi is the head of the Uber Eats intelligence organization that builds search, recommendations, and personalization for all Uber Eats product surfaces. So we've probably all used it. His team combines cutting-edge search techniques and large-scale machine learning to deliver a personalized user experience that can support not only the large scale of Uber's customer base, but across the world, but also new domains such as grocery and retail, in addition to the core restaurant delivery business. Before Uber, he led the Comcast Content Discovery Group, developing personalized search, browse, and recommendation for TV and video content, as well as the Voice Assistant Group for the Comcast X1 voice remote and customer support chatbot. He has published several papers in scientific conferences and journals and is a frequent speaker on machine learning and data science. Let's give everyone a round of applause. Thank you. Really excited to have them join us today and provide their leadership to support our mission and our program. I know that our fellows are really excited to get feedback from them as well. With that, I'd like to introduce Lillian Skank, Director of Core here at Pursuit, to tell you more about our Pursuit Fellowship.
Hi everybody, my name is Lillian. My last name unfortunately is Skank. Everyone always gets to laugh, I don't know why. All right folks, good evening. Before we get started, I'd like to share more about the amazing journey that our fellows are on. I saw some people looking around, they're in the first 2 to 3 rows, so make sure you talk to them after. Pursuit offers an intensive 4-year journey focused on fueling the success of our fellows. For us, it's not just about giving out certificates of completion or even helping fellows get to their first job. It's about helping them build careers over the long term. Nearly a year ago, we received more than 850 applications for this current cohort. Applicants came for on-site interviews with volunteers from the tech and professional communities, and then they completed a challenging workshop. By way of that process, we selected the phenomenal group of 23 developers that make up our 8.1 class who are here tonight. We selected individuals who embody the values of Pursuit. We believed that they would not be only exceptional programmers, but also leaders in the communities that they are coming from. Over the past year, our fellows have completed an intensive immersion in the fundamentals of software development, industry fluency, and the leadership and professional development skills needed to become a professional software developer. As part of this process, they have spent the last 8 weeks building their capstone projects. But their journey is far from over. Pursuit doesn't stop when our fellows complete the core training or even when they start that first job. We continue to work with them and provide an additional 3 years of support and service to help build actual careers. As Caroline mentioned, we work closely with employers during this time as well, and it's part of our model to create change in the tech industry itself. This reflects our deep commitment to giving our fellows not only the tools they will need to succeed as developers, but also the tools they will need to succeed in their careers. Our work wouldn't be possible without a community of volunteers who play a critical role in the success of our fellows and our program. These volunteers impart valuable technical advice and professional guidance to our fellows, and it's critical advice and guidance that helps them become successful in the tech industry. On behalf of the entire Pursuit team, I truly appreciate the support that our volunteers provide to this program. Thank you especially to the dedicated mentors who have provided critical guidance and feedback to our fellows. Technical mentors came in to meet with their groups and helped those groups navigate new technologies, set weekly goals, and define the technical vision of the projects that you'll see today. Our design mentors help them create and add beautiful form to match the technical function of these capstone projects. Let's give all of our mentors a big round of applause. With that, I'd like to introduce our instructors. We have 3 incredible instructors who have worked so closely with 8.1 over the past year to help them build the technical and professional skills that will allow them to be ready to join different leading companies as software developers. The instructors will be introducing each of the capstone teams tonight, and I'm first going to hand it over to Colin and Angie. As they come up, just a note, Jose was also an instructional assistant, but he will not be joining us tonight.
Hello, my name is Colin. I've had the privilege of being the senior instructor for our 8.1 class. This class is amazing. Let's just give them another round of applause. They have worked so hard over the last year. They have faced so much adversity. They have endured, sacrificed, and never given up. And that's why they're all here today. It's a challenging program. It's been a hard year for everybody. But they have pushed through when it seemed hardest. I want to talk to the fellows just for a moment. You folks have given your all, and I have admired everything that you've done to get here today. Your journey is not over. It's barely started. And very soon you're going to start your job search, your first job search as a dev. It's going to be difficult, but I know you're going to remember how far you've come and how much you've learned. You learned the fundamentals of programming. I mean, that's what we teach ostensibly, but we teach so much more, and you learn so much more by working. You learned to work independently. You also learned to collaborate and learn as a team. You learned to get unstuck and to stay unstuck, mostly. In all of that, while you were learning that, you were dealing with all of life's challenges, everything it was throwing at you, everything was demanding of you. And you did it with style. And when you are interviewing, keep in mind you don't need to know everything. When you're coding, sometimes you feel like you don't know anything. And it's not what you know that's going to get you hired. It's what you can learn. It's your ability to learn. You have proven that ability over and over again. And we're going to see that proof tonight. And that potential to learn, that ability to do anything you set your mind to, was obvious from day one. When you folks came to the first day of class and you met all your classmates, you could see what we could see, the potential in all of them. And when you are interviewing, I want you to remember, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to your fellow fellows, your friends, when they tell you that they see that potential you saw in everybody else in you, that you have that potential. And tonight is proof of that. Tonight we're going to really get to see that on a big screen. And I'm so excited to see these apps presented. And I know you folks are, so I'm gonna hush up, and we're gonna get to that. Yeah, we're gonna get to see some really amazing apps, and I am going to turn it over to Angie to introduce how we're gonna do that.
Keep going. Hi everyone, my name is Angie Munoz. I am the instructional associate to the 8.1 class. I am a part of the amazing instructoral team that has been able to see the fellows really push through some hard times, lean on each other for support, and really put their grit and perseverance to the test. It has been amazing to watch them prove to themselves what they're capable of and those around them. And we're going to see that hard work all today. So as for the demos, what to expect. After a brief introduction from one of the instructors, each team is going to introduce themselves as well as give us a brief background and bio about themselves. After that, they will have 6 minutes to demo their project, followed by 2 minutes of Q&As from our panelists. So who is excited for these apps?
I would like to introduce our first group coming up. They are making a new marketplace in one of the newest businesses around. They are Butterfly.
Hello. Thank you all for being here this evening. Our group is Butterfly. Before we get to our app, let me start by introducing Fatima Kabir. Fatima is an integral part of our team. She is so hardworking, dedicated, and a great problem solver to work with. She unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but she can't go unnoticed. Many of the key features that you'll see us presenting tonight wouldn't be possible without her. My name is Vanessa Conti, and my journey to software development started a few years ago when I was working as a senior supervisor for an emergency medical service. I got tasked with learning and implementing a new software and mainframe for the company. Soon after that, I was introduced to Pursuit, and like they say, the rest is history.
Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Lucano. I'm a Bronx native and full stack web engineer. So I come from a STEM background, majoring in chemistry while I was in college in pursuit of becoming a high school chemistry teacher and working in high-need areas around New York City. I've always envisioned myself using educational sites in a future classroom of mine. And now, with the help of Pursuit, I get to create these sites and hope to see them be implemented in future classrooms one day.
Hello, my name is Brian Mercedes, and I am also a full stack engineer, and as well as Stephanie, I'm a Bronx native. My, my, my coding journey began when I was a third year college student, and just lost because I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. I took a semester gap off, and during this time, I found out that I wanted something to do to gain financial freedom, basically, pretty much. And during this time, I found out I would pursue and I joined it. But luckily for me, during this time, 3 weeks into the program, I found out that this is actually my love and my passion thing. And this is why I'm here today to present you the butterfly. So, have you ever needed something or wanted something, but there was not a broad accessibility for it? Often, cannabis users go through this dilemma. This is why Butterfly is bringing the cannabis markets to the users' fingertips by bringing both the users and the sellers together without a catch. But before that, we're gonna introduce you to our users.
This is Antonio. Antonio represents the seller's experience on our app. And this is Christina. Christina represents the user experience on our app. Butterfly brings them together.
So now, let's buy some weed. Wow. Christina is surprised by the variety of cannabis products in our landing page. Wedding cake has caught her attention, so let's click on more details. She's gone through the details, she likes it, and adds it to her cart. Now, let's go back to the homepage. Let's add some of those good-looking pre-rolls and edibles to her cart.
Okay, so this is what Christina's cart will look like. Christina's looking over her cart and she realizes she doesn't know how to roll. So she decides to remove the wedding cake and add a bunch more of the pre-rolls. She's definitely going to keep the edibles and then she's going to check out.
Okay, so now we're gonna present to you our seller side. So once you're looking as a seller, you're gonna be prompted with a message of welcome Antonio, which is the seller. Here you're gonna basically just be presented with your store and your store only. So from here you're gonna be able to see all of the products that you own and have full control of your inventory, of managing your inventory. From here, if you feel like you are out of a product, you could go into the product and just delete it if you would like to. Or if you feel like you made a mistake from the description of the product, you can just come in here and as well as just edit it. So for the future, we would like to implement some other features, which are
The loyalty reward programs, which is basically the more you smoke, the more you save. Next, better seller analytics. Like in the graph shown, we'd like to provide our sellers with a view of their monthly revenues from Butterfly.
thank you. And to all investors, we'd be good together.
Thank you, and now if you have any questions.
Yes, I have a question. How are you handling, I guess, anonymity and like being anonymous? Let's say someone just doesn't want their family, someone to know that they're purchasing items from this site.
I would like to answer that question. So our process that we're doing is we're trying to do discrete mailing. If you're going to be mailing it to your house or delivering to your house, we're trying to work with the actual sellers and do discrete mailing. Or if you're going to pick it up at the store, we also trying to do discrete packaging for you as a customer.
Thank you.
So,
I have a question. Is there anything unique about this marketplace, like for example, imagine if I could sell things on Amazon. Like what feature function here is unique that makes it for this domain that people sign up to go use this marketplace versus other existing marketplaces?
Well, in our research, we didn't find many marketplaces that would provide only businesses that are straight just for cannabis users and sellers, or if you're new to the industry and you want to just try it out. We also wanted to pretty much give our users the comfort of a safety net, not having to go out in their neighborhood or meeting someone random or going into the store and bumping into someone they know. So that makes it unique.
And to add to that answer, when we were doing research and looking at all the marketplaces that do exist, a lot of them have like pretty strong restrictions. That's why we say without a catch. For example, we looked at one of them that has a minimum purchase of $250, which is a pretty big price. If I'm a regular user who doesn't have that much money, and I just want to buy, let's say, like an A for just one edible, that's not nearly $250. So it's like you're trying to. That's why it's too simplified. Any more questions?
I actually just had a comment. I think like scoring or recommendations from users could be really cool, so that people feel like they can trust, builds trust into the product. But on top of that, I would love to hear more about the seller pain points, because it sounds like, I would, was there anything you encountered that would make the marketplace kind of unique in addressing that pain point that they may have?
Wait, could you repeat your questions?
So, in the seller side of the marketplace, are there any kind of pain points you see them not having, or that they have right now in terms of being able to sell their product in the market, I guess? Is it just finding users, or is there some other, is it shipping? Are there other pain points they have that you can address?
So most of the apps that we found online are also not really a marketplace. They're for single stores. So if I have a dispensary, I might have an online store for that dispensary specifically. We're trying to make it so we're not really a store ourselves. We're just trying to be the middleman to create spaces for those stores or those dispensaries to come into our app and actually sell into those users.
Curiosity, would it be legal to launch this product? I don't know what the state of regulation is.
Oh yeah, Fatima, our other team member, she did a lot of research, and yeah, it is.
As long as we have the right
the age requirement.
The age requirements and verifications for sellers is completely legal.
How did you guys come up with the idea?
It's just not enough marketplace.
Let's give a round of applause for Butterfly. I still can't believe they went with that joke with the weed be good together. Because in rehearsal, I still can't believe it stayed. Okay, so our next group is going to create a space for people to work together, to collaborate, to be creative together. Please welcome to the stage, Hobby Board.
All right. Hello there. We are Team Hobby Board. I'm Dylan Lavelle. I'm a software engineer and a computer technician from Brooklyn, New York. And when I was a kid, I found myself mostly around communities that were enveloped in game development. And they needed front-end websites, funny enough. And so I gave it my best shot, and yeah, those websites were terrible. But now here I am, today, building full-stack web apps with a wonderful group of fellows, and one of those wonderful fellows is Justin.
Hi, my name is Justin Daniel Diaz, and I have a background in information technology. While in college, I took a course in coding, and that's to kind of spark my interest in software development. And after college, I got an IT certification and started working in the field. But my interest in software has stuck with me since. So on my own time, I started learning coding with Udemy courses and textbooks. But after I found Pursuit, I felt like this was a great opportunity to meet new people and launch my software career. One great person I've met so far is Benny Zhang.
Thank you, Justin. My name is Benny. I'm a full-stack developer currently in Queens with a background in actuarial science. I used to work in insurance, and I couldn't really see myself staying there for another 5 or 10 years. So I ended up deciding I wanted to make a small career change. So considering I'm a gamer that enjoys puzzles and already have an existing background in math and statistics, I thought programming was a pretty logical shift. So here I am at Pursuit, trying to pursue a goal in programming. And with that, I'll pass it right over to Rohan.
Thank you, Benny. Hi, my name is Rohan Sterling, and before pursuing a career in software development, I served this country as a medic in the Army. Now, being a combat medic was a great experience, and it was a meaningful existence. However, I think it was time for me to transition into some new field, something that I could see myself doing for the next 25 years of my life, and something that allows me to be more creative. Throughout my journey here at Pursuit, I found out that I'm most passionate about the gamification of software applications, and I want to bring that into developer teams that I may join in the future.
All right, thank you, Rohan. And with that, I just wanted to ask a question. Has anybody ever had an idea in their mind that they never quite went through with?
Oh yeah, Benny. The gamer dating app that I pitched to this team that we didn't end up working on because somebody didn't like it. But
Anyways. Yeah, I didn't want to work on that one. But I think that's one of the biggest blockers when it comes to starting projects, just not having the support there to actually start. Also, going a little further into that, just thinking about, you might not know how many people you need to start the project or the skills that you would need to start the project. And if you do know the skills that you would need, you might not have them. And I think those can cause a lot of problems.
And that's where Hobby Board comes in. Most of these problems are actually resolved by just being part of an active community. For example, if you don't have the support, you have plenty of people online that can back you up, either by assisting on your project or just giving you that much needed accountability that many people need in order to start either their workout goals or even just their simple projects. And on top of that, if you yourself know you're missing some skills, I'm sure someone part of the community is either currently learning those skills and wants to try to practice them on some project they think they could assist on, or somebody who already had the skills and just is looking for something to fill up their free time. And on top of that, along with a large community, there's more heads to bounce ideas off of to lay out that initial plan and find that nice starting point. And with that, I'll pass it right over to Rohan to demo him making his dating app on our app.
All right, if we bring our attention to the screen behind me, Justin's gonna help me create our dating app board. So first, let's explore around and see if there are any gamer dating apps already here. All right, doesn't look like there's one already here, so let's go ahead and create a board. So, when we're here on the project creation page, we can input in a project name, a project description, and an image if you do have one. However, we can just submit it without an image. Okay, here we're at the new board that we just created. So let's check out the collaborators tab. I'm a collaborator on my own project, so that's awesome. And let's check out requests. So I'm also on the site on my phone here on stage, so I'm gonna refresh the page and go and check for that new project. And to test out the request feature, I'm gonna go ahead and join. Oh, Dylan, you do want to work on this project. All right, let's go ahead and accept that. All right, let's check the collaborators tab, and now Dylan's on this project with me. I think we're gonna have fun creating this project together, Dylan.
All right, now let's just take another quick look at that page. This page looks a little bare. How about we take a look at a project that's a little bit more fleshed out? How about just that first one right there, reset. Project, you would like to build a game in an apocalyptic environment? Sounds interesting. Let's see if they have any posts about where they're at right now. Interesting. They just finished their first character. That sounds pretty cool. How about you give them some engagement with a quick comment, and you maybe even give them a quick like as well. So yeah, project's a bit more fleshed out. Can update any viewer on what you're up to, and can even make posts about what you're looking for. And with that, I'll pass it over to Justin for what we're going to be working on in the future.
So some future implementations we're currently working on is a searching functionality to help us better, find projects easier. Roles for collaborators like artists or sound design, and GitHub and Discord integration.
Yes.
So that's our app hobby board, connecting creators and communities. Thank you.
Hi guys, you mentioned gamification at the beginning of the presentation. How do you think about incentivizing contributors to contribute to projects?
So we did discuss that a bit, however not thoroughly. So the solution to that wouldn't necessarily be something that's a gamification, but more of a donation based. So if you have, if you make a project that has features that you're going to be adding, there would be a tier of donation that someone following the project could be able to donate to a specific feature that they want to see come to life. Another tier of donation would be donating to the project, so giving the creator the ability to allocate funds to different features. And then another tier would be donating directly to the creator.
What would be the incentive to leverage hobby board as opposed to a Slack forum, for example?
Hello there. I think I could take that question. So, Hobbyboard itself is made to more connect people, while other things like Slack, maybe even Facebook groups or something else would be meant to facilitate said collaboration. This app is more focused on searching and finding people who are like-minded and want to work on similar projects.
And
Go ahead.
There's a follow-up question to that. What technologies have you used, or what have you built into the app to help with that connection, to facilitate the matching?
At the moment, it's part of our future plans where we're planning on adding tags to the projects to make based on like roles they're looking for. And at the moment, it's pretty much just viewing the projects and seeing if you like the description and whether you want to help out on it or not. But in the future, we already planned out for integrating like project roles that they're looking for, along with user profiles with linked roles or tags that for projects and roles that they have experience in or they're willing to contribute as.
What powered that live updating incoming request? That looked pretty cool.
So that was powered by Socket.io and Socket.io client. So we each client is listening to a unique event, and so when the client hears the unique event sent from the server, it actually triggers a use effect on React and refreshes just that component. And so the user doesn't need to refresh the whole page in order to see new requests. Right?
I hope you finally get to make that gamer dating app, Rohan. Maybe over the summer. Let's give another round of applause for Hobby. All right, our next group is creating marketplaces, not just for buying and selling, but for giving as well. Please welcome Charity to the stage.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Excited to be here. Welcome to Charity. My name is Andres Valares. I was born and raised in Colombia. I've always been impressed with technology. I mean, ever since I've learned about algorithms and how, when they're set in place, they could predict consumer behavior, I was thrilled. So when I came across Pursuit, I thought to myself, what a wonderful opportunity this is for me. I jumped on it. Pursuit has given me the education and the flexibility that I needed in order to get into the tech industry. And for that, I'm grateful and I'm thankful. I would definitely recommend it. And yeah, thank you for coming out here tonight, guys. I'll pass it on to Andrew.
Hi, my name is Angie Guerrero. Being exposed to art from a very early age by my parents has defined who I am. During my free time, I enjoy glass blowing, drawing, painting, jewelry making, and decorating. Thanks to Pursuit, it has provided me with the opportunity to start a career as a software engineer in which I'll be able to connect my three passions: art, technology, and community outreach. Special thank you to my husband, my mother, my oldest friend, and Pursuit fellows and instructors for your support during my fellowship at Pursuit.
Good evening. My name is Billy Dominique. I'm a father and a Brooklyn native. I've been working with technology for the past 10 years, but from a sales perspective. I then started my journey into the Pursuit Fellowship with no background in coding, but countless examples of how technology has changed and enriched people's lives. I've always believed in taking big problems and breaking them down into small ones first, which naturally has led me to coding. I also have developed a passion for finding the best ways to keep people and their information safe and secure. Building code while building confidence.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Melissa Lopez, and I'm a developer that came from a graphic design background. I came to Pursuit in order to network, in order to make friends, in order to make some really cool projects, and of course, in order to increase my skills. I plan to use my newly acquired skills in order to help those in need who struggle with mental health.
Many would agree that unwanted but perfectly usable items get discarded every day. You might even sort through your closet and notice items with tags still attached. It's more affordable to purchase a used item over buying a brand new one. I walk by countless items on the street and have been guilty of tossing a few items myself. Sometimes in new or like new condition.
What if you could sell all the items that you currently don't use, earn money, and contribute to a charity of your choice? I mean, wouldn't that be great?
Introducing Charity. A user will have the ability to post an item for sale or make a purchase, and during checkout, 10% of the transaction
will be donated to charity. Seller gets to make some spare cash, buyer gets a great deal, and a portion of the proceeds go to those in need. Hey, Melissa, I think these folks are ready for the tour.
Well, we have a username case. He's looking around his closet, has an old coat that he's not using, right? Instead of tossing it out, since it's in great condition still, he decides to come across our app. Takes a picture of the coat, decides on a price to post it as, more or less. Then creates an account on our profile. Then creates an account on our app. Bill, would you like to take over?
Sure. Jay sees that he's able to add a new product and lists his gently used North Face that's about 2 years old, but still in fantastic condition. He listed for about $50, already has the name, description, and image fields filled out. So all that's left is for him to hit the post button and wait for a lucky bargain hunter to come across his listing. I think that's already caught someone's eye. Andres, walk through our potential buyer.
Definitely. I mean, once you come to the products page on our application, you'll be able to see an image displaying the product that is currently being sold, as well as a description, a price, and a button, just in case you decide to purchase it. Once you click on the button, it would pretty much put it in the shopping cart. Shopping cart, you have the ability to adjust, remove, add, but you will also have the opportunity, or the user will also have the opportunity to see the subtotal, along with how much money it's being donated to St. Jude's Hospital, in this case, which is 10% of the sale.
Isn't this a great app, guys? I mean, think about it. Not only are you contributing to the economy, but you're also making a charitable donation. And the other thing about it is that it's all inclusive. It's not like extra money that's coming out of your pocket, so it's really portioned really well. So aside from this app already being as awesome as it is, we have a few more features that we want to add to make it even more awesome. Angie?
Our future implementations include a messaging system which will allow sellers and buyers to communicate. We're also expanding our partnerships that will allow buyers to select a charity of their choice, and to allow sellers to create a profile where they'll be able to view their sold items and manage their listings.
Remember, sharing is caring, but winning is giving. Thank you.
We're now open for any questions.
Do other marketplaces have like an ability to pay through a charity? Like, what was the like biggest differentiator, I guess, to other marketplaces in your guys' mind?
Just to restate what I said before, I feel like most marketplaces, they let a person, how do I say it? They divide the percentage of the sale between the actual company and the seller. So for example, eBay, you would have to not only pay to post an item, but you would also have to give up some of the give a portion of whatever you're making towards the actual company. Whereas with charity, although we're not money based, we're more about just helping the seller get rid of their item, helping the seller make some money, but also really just emphasizing the fact that no extra money is coming out of the buyer's pocket in order to contribute to the charity.
And to add on to what Melissa is saying, like I said, I've been in sales for about 10 years, and a lot of times you get to the register and it's like a prompt comes up and it's like, hey, would you also like to donate to this charity? And I've heard a lot of people suck their teeth, roll their eyes. They can't wait to hit the no thanks button. What we're trying to do is create something that's more all-inclusive, where you don't even have to think about it. The purpose of this is that the donation is included. So it's like every time a product exchanges hands, if you think about a bread maker and somebody who wants bread, like, no, I'm the bread maker, Melissa's the person who wants bread. Melissa buys the bread for me, but the few crumbs that fall during the transaction Go to somebody who actually is hungry and needs to eat.
If you can choose in charity too, would be a cool new feature for kind of contributing to that too. So that's a big one.
Thanks. Thank you guys.
Shout out to Charity. So, our next team is looking to educate young people in a growing market that is growing as they do. Please welcome Nifty World.
Good evening. So as you heard, our app is called Nifty World. And one thing nifty about my team here is that we love food. So when the refreshments are served tonight, make sure you get to that table before we do. We want to make sure you're refreshed. So as I said, our app is not a part of the food industry, but we are serving up some food for thought for children. So my name is Tashani Goriello. I am a software developer coming from youth development, and I made a transition into tech after realizing that I encouraged young people, children, every day for years to do things that were hard and challenging, and I realized I wasn't doing that myself. So when I found Pursuit, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to find out how creative I can be and to look back on something and be proud of myself. So I hope to one day work for a company who values innovation and humanity.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Cave, and I was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm a proud father of 5. After 17 years in the United States Postal Service, I felt the need to challenge myself and decided it was time for a change. Being that I attended college for 2 years for computer science, I decided to finish what I started and continue to learn about computers, and that journey has led me here to Pursuit.
Hi, my name is Isidro Molina. I'm a full stack engineer who was born and raised in Washington Heights.
That's right.
As a child, I've always had a passion for technology and problem-solving activities. From being excited about overpowered bugs and hacks in games to building my first PC as a freshman in high school, my hobbies naturally led me to pursuing a degree in computer science and engineering. Although I wasn't able to finish my degree due to other obligations, I did find a silver lining during the pandemic, and I did take that opportunity to continue to pursue my passion for technology through Pursuit.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Williams, and I am a software engineer with a background in retail and digital media. I got into tech after actually maintaining my own blog for many years, and my mother actually introduced me to Pursuit. Thanks, Mom. As a software engineer, I hope to create applications that continue to bridge the gap between fashion and technology, while also helping marginalized people get into tech as well. Everyone knows that the children are our future. It's a good idea to teach children about the financial and digital landscape as early as possible in order for them to capitalize on the opportunities that this world has to offer. In the ever-changing world of finance, children are making their mark in the NFT and cryptocurrency space, such as Nyla Hayes, who is a 12-year-old NFT creator. Her collection, Long Necky, has actually estimated around $4 million currently. So as you can see, it's like the perfect time. According to a study, one in five teens lack a basic understanding of financial literacy. So we want to change that.
Nifty World believes that the earlier financial literacy is taught to our children, the sooner they can build a healthier relationship with money.
So our target audience, for example, here's Corey. He's a Minecraft enthusiast, and he's curious on how he could learn more about money in the real and digital world. Now Eric is going to introduce you to how Corey can learn in Nifty World.
Okay, so we're here on the home page of the app. Here, Corey can travel throughout the app using the navigation bar. We have an about, categories, messages, login, and sign up buttons. And if he clicks on the categories button, he is able to choose.
Oh, Heroku is asleep.
Okay, all right, yeah, he's waking up.
Sorry about that.
If he clicks on the categories button, he's able to choose either NFT, cryptocurrency, or money matters. Today, Corey feels like he wants to learn about cryptocurrency. So here on the cryptocurrency page, we have what is cryptocurrency, where can I store my cryptocurrency, and the history of Bitcoin. I think Corey wants to get his past tense on and learn about history of Bitcoin. Corey clicks on the learn button and gets a cool fact about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. If he wants to dive a little bit further, he can watch a short video hosted by my boy Leo.
Hey Nifty pals, let's talk about the history of cryptocurrency. Where did Bitcoin come from? Bitcoin was created in 2008 by the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. A pseudonym is a fake name that authors sometimes use when they write books, but in this case it's used for a digital currency creator. Although Bitcoin is the first recorded cryptocurrency, it is not the only one. There are more than 1,000 other currencies around the world, and they are all worth different amounts that will change over time.
After the lesson, Corey can take a short quiz. Now on the quiz page, Corey can test his knowledge on the history of Bitcoin. After reading the question, who created Bitcoin, he can choose from two possible answers. I see here, we got one of the answers, Bitcoin was created by Eric Cave. If anybody in the audience wants to think that that's the right answer, go ahead and give a round of applause. All right. Thank you, but I think we all know guy didn't create Bitcoin, so we're gonna choose the right answer. Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. You have the correct answer prompt, and if Corey wants to continue to learn more, you can click on the button to go back to the categories page, or you can choose to leave a comment or a quick question in the messages page, which Isidro will do a quick run through.
All right. So as Eric said, after taking the quiz, Corey decides he has a question. So he has a question board where he can type his name and he can say why was Bitcoin created. Why was Bitcoin created? So as you can see, Corey has now posted his first official question, which our Nifty peers can take a crack at providing him with a answer to his question. All right.
So in the future, we would like to add games to lessons, as well as implement an easy, difficult, and medium feature. Also, we would like to highlight young entrepreneurs and their stories on our app, as well as make our app accessible to all children, including children with disabilities.
Thank you for taking the time to hear about Nifty World tonight. We are now open for questions.
I feel like you should go before me. You were. So I guess one comment and then a question. One, I think it's super smart to highlight accessibility. I think that not enough tech companies, everyone is sort of coming from behind now, so to get ahead of it and prioritize it is super important. And then a question for you all is, what sort of age group are you targeting?
So we're targeting about 8 to 13 years old. Kind of like they're easy to comprehend something, but not like too young, not like 5. So like in that threshold, we think it's kind of vital to learn this information. So like about 8 to 13.
Got it. Yeah, I always think when sort of defining your persona and thinking about age groups, it's important to consider parents as a stakeholder also, because anyone below 16 or any platform where you go after them, that's a big consideration.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Super cool problem statement. I love it. I think it's so powerful to educate next generation early on these matters, both crypto specific and just general financial literacy. It seemed like there were kind of 2 general approaches, one of which was content-driven education, which was probably produced by you all and then shared. But then there was also a kind of forum that allowed two-way communication. Do you see it primarily being a marketplace approach where kind of people educate each other and communicate with each other, or being a kind of centralized content approach where you create content and then people consume it?
I think that to start off with, we want to just have it content based. We want to create our own content and show that throughout the app. But maybe for future, that is a good idea where people can contribute and put in their own content, and then we can share that. That sounds like a good one.
Very cool.
I have a question. Since Chris asked my question, I'm going to ask a follow-up question. So definitely content here is, basically targeted for children. Have you thought of, like, since this app is going to be used by children as well, right, younger generation, have you thought of, like, are you doing anything different and which makes it easier for children, for example, or have you thought about anything in that direction?
Could you repeat that, please?
So basically my question is that the audience for this app is children, they are not adults, right? Are you building it anywhere different from, let's say, if I just go to Coursera, like, so what's in terms of, the way that people interact with this app? Is it only the content, designed and targeted for children, or the flow and the buttons and everything is somehow designed for children to make it easier for them to use the app?
I would like to say, like, anybody want to chime in? I would like to say that we probably would like to implement more creative styling for the app to make it more inviting for children. You mentioned the buttons. We probably want to give like special effects to the buttons when you hover over it, or maybe different colors throughout the app to make it more inviting to children. I hope that answers the question.
I definitely. Hello. Yeah. I definitely want to just piggyback what you're saying. I think what makes ours a little bit different is because, like, opposed to like Coursera and like YouTube, even, there's a lot of like children on YouTube who do like NFT courses. Ours we're like kind of putting chunks of information like into digestible formats for children. So it can be like, okay, hey, I have this fun fact or this fun line, but they're digesting in a way where you're still really learning about what an actual NFT is. So I think that's probably kind of what we stand out with. And just from researching and like looking at what was on the market as far as like apps that target children that teach them about this, there really aren't a lot. A lot of the apps that are teaching children financial things are like, I know there's one like Ad Capitalist and ABC Mouse, like those certain platforms, but they're not really targeted to just like financial, crypto, and like NFT matters. So I think that's kind of where we stand out, because it's not a lot on the market right now, if any, that are teaching children that.
They are bringing folks together using a universal language, which you will learn more about in a few seconds. Please give it up for Encanto.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, it's great to have the opportunity for us to share our project with you all, so thank you all for being here. We are Team Encanto.
And we are here to connect people through food.
So welcome to our team of engineers. I'm Sel Reyes, and I'm a first generation professional from the Bronx. Back in 2014, I decided to give up my career in finance and pursue entrepreneurial opportunities. At the time, I didn't know what to expect, but life experience has taught me that I can truly put my mind towards anything and accomplish great things. So I find myself here at Pursuit, where I'm learning to code, and I love it. I've found something that for me, that gives me and my family meaning, personal meaning, and the ability to improve our community and while building an inclusive economy.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kisop Lee. I'm a software engineer with an interest in connecting people through technology and building visually appealing apps. Before I began my journey at Pursue, I used to work as a painter. And after not getting into my dream grad school for art, I had to pause my life to think about my next move. And a friend of mine showed me what she was building at Pursue, and I just became really interested in coding. Ever since I joined at this fellowship, I've been loving everything about coding, especially about how much of an impact you can actually make with technology. And I'm ready to make an impact.
Hello everyone, my name is Eva Rodriguez and I'm a software engineer. A little background about me is that I used to be a photographer for many years until COVID hit. And we all know what a mess that created. That mess gave me an opportunity to redefine myself, and that's when I landed at Pursuit. Pursuit has given me many things, and other than my dream career, it also gave me an opportunity to make new friends. And this is very important to me because growing up, my family moved very often, and very often I had the same question: how can I make friends now? There are not many ways to socialize with people, but every day we do think about food, right? Hint, hint to Shani. So what if there's a way to connect people through food?
Yeah, meeting new people shouldn't feel like dating. So what if it's not dating, what are the ways out there? Our app Encanto connects people through food. So to compare to the alternatives, our way is more inclusive to meet others in community and gain knowledge and build relationships.
So who is this product for? Let's talk about our users. First off, we have Ross, who's a businessman, and he works in the city and doesn't necessarily want to date. He's someone who simply wants to meet new people and make friends. And then we have Phoebe. She's a college student and she's new to town. And she doesn't have any friends to go out and explore the city with. So now I'll pass it over to Eva, who will introduce us to the app and show us how Ross and Phoebe can connect through food.
Thank you, Sal. Welcome to our app Encanto. In our landing page, we have our logo. Our logo includes the letters E and C, which stands for eating and connecting. Now, what does the name Encanto mean? Encanto means enchanted in Spanish, and that's what we want. We want people to get enchanted by food and each other's company. Our middle slider gives new users a quick intro of what the app is all about. We also have a sign-up page, and after signing up as a new user, you will be taken to our login page, where you can put in your email and password, and voila, now you can make your selection of your favorite cuisine for today. Now Sal will talk a little bit more about the next steps and what Rose and Phoebe are currently craving.
Thank you, Eva. So depending on what they're seeking, they can choose from a variety of cuisines spanning from American to Mexican and even vegan food. For today, they're having lunch and they're craving American food, so let's submit that option. Great, so Great, so as you can see in the middle of the screen, we have some user details information as well as a little bit about themselves. If the user is interested in connecting, they can click on the left, right, and wait for a response, or they can just simply click the left button and move on to the next user. So here's an opportunity for a connection to happen. So let's click on the right button and start communicating with Ross. So now I'll pass it over to Kisa, who's going to go over our app's chat feature.
Thank you, Sun, and thank you, Eva. So once users get to our conversation page, users can see a list of their matches, people who have accepted their request, or you might have accepted some of their requests. So why don't we go click Mike? Let's see what they've been talking about. It looks like they're having a great time here and they're meeting pretty soon. Why don't we go back to our conversation page and let's talk to our new match, Ross, and see what he's craving for. All right, I guess they're talking about time here. So I'm signed in as Ross here. I'm gonna ask Phoebe where to meet. Just, I'm typing right now. All right, so I guess I just have to wait for Phoebe's response. Phoebe? And as you can see, Boyla, users can talk to each other real time. And once you're done talking to the other person, from our footer, users can easily navigate back to our food page and choose different type of cuisine, because you might be craving for different type of cuisine, maybe Mexican food, who knows? And also, if they wish to sign out from our footer, they can do so. Now, Eva is gonna talk about our future implementation. Take it over, Eva.
Thank you, Kisa. Thank you, Sal. I would just like to highlight a few future implementations. We would like to provide users feedback and introduce a block list for safety reasons. And for technical implementations, we would like to set users photo authentication and verification, just like Tinder recently has implemented, also for safety reasons. Now we would like to open the panel for questions and feedback. Thank you.
Love the idea, and also the idea of, I think there was groups or something on there, or events that you could plan with multiple people. That I always love food, the more the merrier. That's great. How would you guys plan to monetize the app?
Yes, I guess we have so many plans, but I will talk about 2 plans. First, we're planning to implement a feature where we show users a list of recommended restaurants after they choose cuisines. For example, if I choose American food, based on their preferred meetup location, we're gonna give them a list of recommended restaurants. And restaurants that wish to secure a spot on our list, they can pay for the spot, but we're gonna give those restaurants a tag so users know that these are restaurants that pay for the ad spots. Also, we're planning to implement group-based events where restaurants can host events like brunch, lunch, dinner, and we will take commission from them as well.
From a product design perspective, you kind of noted that this is not necessarily about dating, but a lot of the information that you showed kind of was the information that you think about seeing potentially if you were thinking about it as a dating app. How do you think about kind of separating it from a dating app, and then particularly how do you think about kind of trust and safety in that part of the problem space?
Sure, I'll give it a try. We've definitely thought about it. In terms of like how we're pairing users, it's based on like the matching algorithm that I think is how we're able to make it more inclusive. We're not, matching people based on their particular like interest in terms of gender or anything else. It's strictly based on just the foods, that categories that they've selected. So it gives them it's a wider range of users that you can select from.
What type of insights would you plan to glean from like where the action when they click no meet, like the no restaurant button?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So you had two options. You could click like meet the person or like not meet with the restaurant. So what type of actions would you do on the back of like a series of no meets?
Okay.
I can take that question. So every time we click no, the request is automatically deleted. You can still see the person next time you log in, but you don't have to necessarily say yes. That's why we would like to implement a block list at one point, in case you definitely don't want to meet that person. And based on that rating, then we can then identify that either that person is no good or you simply just don't want it on your feedback.
I guess another a question about location. So, New York City, as small as it is, can feel very big. And so is that a consideration in matching at all?
Yes, absolutely. We have been talking and discussing about location, especially because, like you said, New York is very big. First, we would like to start with New York and obviously later on expand, hopefully. But because we had such a limited time, we weren't able to implement the location based, but it's definitely something that it's in the back of our heads. It's something that we definitely want to implement.
We hope you really enjoy our presentation.
And please stay tuned for our app Encanto in App Store.
And once again, we are
Team Encanto.
And that's the last of our amazing app developers. How about one more round of applause for all? Now I would like to invite our panelists on stage to share some of their thoughts on the apps they saw here tonight, as well as share some personal words of advice to our developers as they begin their careers in technology. If you could give us a moment while we get everyone set up, we'll just take a quick moment to set up on the stage. Great. Tonight marks the end of the capstone project and the start of the process to get your first job in tech. And over the next few months, our teams will be working with our fellows and partner companies to help them get jobs and launch their careers. The next phase will be both exciting and intense. And I'd love to ask the panelists to share a little bit about their journey to technology and how to ensure success in this next part of their journey. So why don't we get started with Jumi?
Oh, well, congratulations to all of you, especially the 8.1 class. It was very good to see these demos today. Like many of you mentioned in your demos, I started my passion for technology and programming started with the desire to use technology to solve problems. I thought that it's a skill that can apply to any industry. And personally, as a teenager, I really love entertainment. And I like to explore creativity through doing music and dancing, etc. And I thought that coding was something that I can apply no matter what I choose to do later on in life. One thing that resonates with me that I just want to share with you that for Pursuit and for what you're all doing here is, as someone who was the first person to graduate from college in my family, I started off my career really with a lot of imposter syndrome. I walked into a place where there was hardly anyone that looked like me. There was no one that looked like me when I joined. But I walked through that doors with the ambition that one day I would represent to somebody in the future that you can accomplish something. So I want to leave all of you, I started with congratulations, and I want to leave all of you with this. You can't change where you're coming from, but you can change where you're going. And that's what you lot are doing now.
Big congratulations to everyone. I certainly could see myself as a user of some of those apps, so great work. As far as my story getting into technology, it was actually kind of an accident. I actually come from a mechanical engineering background, and I got very fascinated with a problem as far as integrating renewables into the grid and kind of the optimization problem that involves. And it just so happened that the best way it seemed to solve that problem was starting a software company. So I always think that kind of following your interests and trusting that and what's in your gut is the best way to kind of find what you're not only meant to do, but also a unique problem that only you can solve. And that as opposed to maybe starting the other way and saying, I want to start a company, I want to solve a problem, and then finding the problem to solve. I think, you know, following your interests and the problem that you want to solve is a great place to start. And then I would also say, you know, hope this isn't like a David Energy pitch or something, because we are going to be meeting some of you. You know, David Energy, actually the name comes from David and Goliath, because we look at this sort of emergence of new technologies on the grid, like solar and electric vehicles and batteries, where individual users for the first time are kind of taking power into their own hands and are challenging like these utility monopolies in a lot of ways. So actually, when we go out and sort of look for talent, we actually love backgrounds that are sort of not the standard background, or, you know, maybe look like underdogs in a way. We love people who are really scrappy and gritty and stuff like that. And so, you know, I think there's actually a great book I read after naming the company David Energy by Malcolm Gladwell, which talks about how David actually, in his sort of seeming, you know, lack of advantage, actually had advantages over Goliath. He was small, nimble. It was a long-range fight, and he was throwing stones, and Goliath just had a sword, so he could only fight close range. So I think whether it's what David Energy looks for or what a lot of people out in the talent market are looking for, I would say my advice would be, you know, I think a lot of your backgrounds are actually advantages, whether that, you know, even if you didn't have a college degree or something like that, and it'll lead to a lot of the out-of-box thinking we saw on the stage here. And so in interview processes or anything like that, I wouldn't shy away from that. I would lean into it, because I think it's something we certainly look for, and I think it's really amazing how you guys got to software engineering. So sorry for going on so long, but yeah.
Thank you. I want to open just by saying that I have tremendous respect for what you all have done over the past year. I've run marketing at Stack Overflow for 4 years, and you would think that I would know how to code, but I don't. Because I keep trying, I keep starting to learn and getting frustrated and stopping. I've tried Udemy and Coursera and Solo Learn and all of them, so you all have done way better than me.
I can't code either.
Yeah, right? It's hard. It's hard. So I also can relate to a lot of you in that I moved to New York 15 years ago from Iowa. My father was Palestinian, he's an immigrant, he moved to America when he was 30, and when I moved here I felt like everyone in New York knew someone, and that's how they all got their jobs. So my first job was at Bloomingdale's. I worked retail for a year, and then I followed my passion. I was passionate about education, so I worked at Teach for America. I really liked the movies, and I eventually became a director of digital at the Motion Picture Association, and I really liked technology, and that's how I eventually got a job at Stack Overflow, where I believed that if we could make that platform, where 100 million people are visiting every month, just 2% nicer, 2% more inclusive, we could have a more cascading effect on all of the technology in the world. And we have a lot of work to do, but I'm committed to making it better, and hopefully you all will join us in doing that. And then the other thing that I want to say is that I think you all are entering this field at a really, really opportune and tremendous time. I think that the pandemic has, you know, I hope, democratized access to any industry that you want. You no longer have to live in New York City to have a job at a top technology company. You no longer have to go on to a top educational institution. You can really come from any background. You just have to be passionate about what you're doing, and you have to be committed to being a lifelong learner. I think that that's what really makes you a great coder. And then the final thing that I'll say is just coming from Stack Overflow, where I spend half my time talking to developers and the other half the time talking to reporters and folks who are looking to hire developers, is that developers have never had more power than they have today. People buy products because the developers tell them to. People change compensation philosophies. They change their parental leave policies because developers tell them to. And there is an imperative to ensure that developers are happy and that developers reflect the world that they're building technology for. And so you all are, leaving this room and this program at the perfect time, in my opinion. And you're incredibly powerful, and I hope you all recognize your power.
That was awesome. Going forth, I think I'm going to echo a lot of sentiments. Thank you so much for sharing your projects with us. Whether developers or not, every one of us here are makers, and we know the feeling of being on the other side of putting something that you've made out there and submitting it for the judgment of somebody else, and all of the feeling of that. And the truth is, when you build things that you love, which I hope you will spend a career doing, that feeling never goes away. In 15 years, when you stand up and you show that next thing that you've built from the ground up and you share it with the world, whether that's in a small room or sharing it to millions of users, it always feels the same way. Did I do it right? Like, am I okay? But you are. Building software is as much art as it is science, and you've just gotten a paintbrush to the biggest canvas in the world at the most powerful time for that canvas. It's an incredible opportunity. Very much like you, I moved to New York after graduating and felt like everyone knew somebody, and I didn't know anyone. And I was the first in my family to graduate from college. I don't know why I decided to then leave the country and go and try and make it somewhere else. And careers can look really storied from the outside, and we all get up and we tell really fluffy stories, and the list of things that you've done becomes really, really long. A career is really only convincing one person to bet on you once, when maybe they should or they shouldn't, and showing them that you can do it, and then doing everything in your power to deliver on it. And for me, that was the founders of Venmo, making a bet that I could be the person who could build that with them. Find one person you can convince to take a bet on you, and the rest will do itself. Just make software.
I'm definitely going to repeat a lot of things I've been told already. But how I got to tech about 20, 30 years ago, no offense, but all I knew that I don't want to be electrical engineer. So I went to the head of one of the universities back in my country, Iran, and which was a friend of us, and I asked, okay, what should I do? I just don't want electrical engineering. He actually told me 20, 30 years ago, go to computer science. That's the future, and I'm thankful to him. And really, honestly, one of the main reasons I'm saying that is that even if you have love for other types of these things, you can always use this. You see people are doing AI, machine learning, software engineering in the field of medical, right? You see that even vaccines that are being built, mRNA, they are using a lot of machine learning in it. You can do the same thing with arts, right? The digital arts. So if you have other passions, you can always use this and still follow your other passions as well, and still make a lot of money out of it. So congratulations, you have done the hard job. And I would just also echo one thing that Fear of Force also said, that when you are going through the next chapter of this process, when you go through the interview, hiring process, don't forget, don't forget how unique you are, And as what Colin, I believe, if I remember his name right, your instructor said at the beginning, it's not about what you know, it's about what you can learn, And I'm also just gonna repeat one thing. I asked one of my interviewers while I was like, hey, if I join this company, what is one advice that you have for me? And he told me that, hey, do not think you are just going from a smaller company to this cutting edge, biggest company in the world right now, that you have to do everything the way that is being done here. You know that you are unique. You have been hired here for a reason because you are unique. Always challenge and bring, don't forget what you can bring to the table, but always be humble and also learn to what Colin said. So always stay confident when you go through the process, and just because you don't have a degree in computer science or 10 years of experience doesn't make you not as strong as other people.
Wonderful. Well, please join me in thanking the panelists as they exit the stage for joining us this evening to offer their I think this is an opportune time to mention and remind everyone what tonight signifies, and that it's really more than just a culmination of a project, more than just a showcase of talent, but tonight marks the beginning of an exciting path to your new careers. And the purpose of the Pursuit Fellowship is not actually for this moment, even though as great as it is. You didn't come here to do this. You came here to get your first job in tech and to grow your career. And so all of the grit, all of the community, everything that it took to get you to this moment, you're going to have to continue until you get that first job and beyond. And so, as I mentioned, this is for kind of our other audience members. It is the support of our community that makes our work and mission possible. So if you're interested in volunteering with us, or if you work for a company that's interested in hiring one of our very talented fellows, please talk to one of our staff. You'll see us around. A lot of us have the t-shirt on. Our fellows have been hired, like I said, at some of the best companies across New York City, and we love to find opportunities to place them at some of your companies. And I'd like to also take a moment to say a special thank you to all of our audience members for joining us tonight. I know that a lot of you are friends and family members, and you play such an enormous role. You have played such an enormous role in our fellows, and we just thank you for that, celebrate that, and also ask you to continue as they continue on in their journey. It's not over yet. Whether you're a friend or a family member supporting a Pursuit Fellow, or a funder or a backer of Pursuit, your support, everyone, means so much to us. So just want to thank you. And certainly last but not least, I would like to extend a warm thank you to my fellow Pursuit team members. Without all of your dedication and hard work, this program would not be possible. And so I just want to thank everyone. Why don't we give an applause for everyone? Now I'd like to invite all of our guests tonight to join us for a reception in the cafe area, for a chance to meet the fellows, meet the developers, enjoy some refreshments. And I'm going to ask fellows and instructors to please stay behind for a photo op. But yeah, thank you all for coming tonight.